All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we had a request in the comments section. This was for me to react to a video by the Low Post. This video is called What Zero Accountability Looks Like. And from what I understand, this is supposed to be the Low Post basically just blaming Darvin Ham for everything, all the Lakers failures. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know how I feel about that. It's about to be the third coach in the last, 4 years for the Lakers under LeBron. So after a while, you tend to look outside of the coach and go, whose fault might it be? Might be someone else's fault. I don't know who. Anyways, we're going to react to this. And yeah, leave the video a like if you could. It'll help this video perform and help my channel grow. And go check out Low Post if you want to see this video without my commentary. I'll link it down below in the description. And here we go.
I've been told by people close to that situation that he likes to find analogs to that Bucks team that he was an assistant coach on when they won the championship. And his analog with Taurean Prince is Chris Middleton.
Taller than everybody, wingspan, skill set. It's like, I don't know what to do.
Following up from some of the talking points that we saw in the post-game and kind of obviously this isn't the exit interviews at least, but like at least fresh in their minds. Lakers season gone wrong and what's next for LeBron and Darvin Ham. Starts off really spicy. Midway through the fourth quarter of a road game against the rival Los Angeles Clippers on February 28th, with the Los Angeles Lakers having cut a lead that was once as much as 21 points in the fourth quarter, down 5. A question arose within the team's player-led huddle. Why are we running plays to have LeBron attack a former Defensive Player of the Year in Kawhi Leonard if the Clippers are willing to switch big man Daniel Tice onto him in screening action? Now let's pause for a second. He alluded to that in the podcast. I want to say this as well. I cannot reiterate this enough. The qualms about Darvin Ham is not new. This is not something that just arose. This is something that has been going on all season long. So it frustrates.
All right, before we get any deeper in this, just to avoid any confusion, no, I'm not a believer that Coach Ham is like God's gift to coaching or anything like that. And nor am I a believer that Frank Vogel is God's gift to coaching, because we have him in Phoenix right now. But also, I'm not blaming Vogel for the Suns' failures. Like, our guys didn't get it done. Like, we sucked. And I see the same thing with the Lakers. Like, the guys just didn't get it done. They had plenty of talent to do it, but they didn't get it done. I'm just reacting to the point of I don't like this every single time a coach doesn't win a championship. We initially just blame him and we fire him. You know? Phil Jackson didn't win every single year. Popovich didn't win every single year. Pat Riley didn't win every single year. Spo doesn't win every single year. Could you imagine if every organization did what, a lot of organizations are doing this these days. So you never know. You're getting rid of potentially great coaches just because you need someone to blame. And I don't agree with that mentality. So that's where my stance is on Coach Ham. No, I don't believe he's a great coach, but I also don't think that firing him and bringing somebody else in is going to fix their problems. They got big problems in LA, and I believe it's with their leadership, and that's LeBron James. AD is the best player on the team, obviously, but he's not a leader. So their leadership is LeBron James, and he's just not getting it done.
Me when people try to write this off as, oh, we're just finding an excuse for us losing to potentially the best team in the NBA. That's not what it is. The answer, provided by multiple players whom team sources say spoke up in the huddle, will provide the key to that night's comeback in those final 5 minutes plus. And I also remember that game as well. LeBron gave great defensive effort, but it was obvious. And it's not like this is something that is also...
Hold up. LeBron gave great defensive effort? When was this? 2012? Because he hasn't done that recently.
Like unique to the Lakers. The Clippers, as we all know, they switch heavy everyone. It's going to be interesting to continue to like watch the podcast moving forward because LeBron, and it's not just LeBron, AD, D'Lo have been hinting at things that I think as time will continue to progress, point directly to Darvin Ham. Anthony Davis would set the high screen to prompt the switch with D'Lo as the high man and Rui in the strong side corner. If a double team came James's way, Russell would flash across the lane and open up a potential dunk for Davis or a three-pointer for Hachimura in the corner. The plan worked to near perfection, with Tice taking over for Leonard 6 times down the stretch and James picking the opposition apart for the Lakers to finish the game on a 15-6 run, 116-112. That game, very pivotal, really encaptured like what exactly was going on. But it's also very telling that this is a question that prompted not only in this huddle, but specifically a team's player-led huddle. That it is interesting that we were in February 28th, post-trade deadline, and these questions are arising amongst players, not the coaches who are watching the game live, who have the responsibility of asking these questions and presenting resolutions to certain concerns that may be on the floor. They continue to go on to talk about during the fourth quarter stretch, and James scored or assisted on 11 of the Lakers' 13 field goals. You know, this kind of goes on to that. The second thing, though, that was also brought up in this, they lost 10 out of the 13 games after the in-season tournament with
I remember that.
4-game losing streaks during that stretch and lost to teams such as the San Antonio Spurs, Chicago Bulls, Memphis Grizzlies, and the Miami Heat without Jimmy Butler.
By the way, I had the stance when it happened earlier this season, and I still have the stance. The in-season tournament's stupid. Are we supposed to celebrate that the Lakers won that? And then they barely got into the playoffs by sneaking through the play-in and getting triple the amount of free throws in order to cheat their way into the first round of the playoffs just to get a gentleman's sweep? Are we supposed to celebrate the Lakers because they won that tournament? What does that tournament even mean? Why is there a banner up on the rafters?
They would later pay so dearly for in the standings. The disconnect between Ham and his locker room was detailed by The Athletic in early January report. The ownership support that he spoke openly about at the time played at pivotal parts in the organization choice to continue with him on the bench. This is when they make the decision on certain players coming off the bench or not. But this is the other part that we kind of just spoke about as well. The Lakers were largely healthy during that stretch. Only Russell, 4 games, and Gabe Vincent, 12 games, missed a noticeable time from their former rotations. Outside of that period, the team went 44-25, a 52 win pace, which is also very pivotal. If the Lakers had won a few more of those games during that stretch, they would have finished with at least 6th in the Western Conference, which would have kept them out of the play-in tournament. And from
What the hell is the point of this? I'm trying to keep an open mind here, but what the hell is the point of this?
facing Denver in the first round.
Are we just making is this just like a big giant excuse article? Like, what is this? What is this alluding to?
Now, during that 13-game skid, the Lakers used 6 starting lineups, including 2 variations of lineups, all wing. James, Davis, Prince, Vanderbilt, and either Cam or...
Okay. I mean, between this guy and this guy, they should be winning games no matter what.
Or Rui. And to Darvin, I'm gonna read that again for him. I'm gonna get it real nice and close for you, because boy, you's a fucking idiot, boy. During the 13-game skid, the Lakers used 6 starting lineups.
Yeah, no shit. We heard you the first time, man. We heard you the first time. Coach was looking for his starting lineup going forward for the second half of the season. The fuck is the big deal? Did he do that in the playoffs?
How do you have...
Because that would be a big deal. Not early in the season. Coaches do that all the time.
Of 6 different lineups in a 13-game stretch.
Because he's trying to figure out the lineup to go with.
But if James is healthy, if Davis is healthy, if Prince is healthy, if Vanderbilt's healthy, and if Cam is healthy, and Rui is healthy, and we know that Reeves played all 82 games, and we also...
Props to my boy, Little Country. Little Country Reeves played all 82.
also know that D'Lo was healthy as well, because as it continued, for 5 games, the team went 2-3. The decision to bench both Reeves and Russell, so you bench both of them, so they were both available. For a 13-game stretch, you ran 6 different lineups when everyone was healthy. That is the reason why the health argument is a bad one.
Of course it is. Well, this I agree with. You can't blame bad health for the Lakers losing this year. They were full powered. So that's not an excuse. So they're going to blame the freaking... I get why you wanted me to react to this now, man. They're going to blame Coach Ham's lineups? The fact that he was searching for a lineup that he wanted to go with for the rest of the season? That's what they're going to blame? Is anyone going to mention their leader? Their so-called best player and their so-called GOAT? I don't recall Michael Jordan blaming his coaches, Collins or Phil Jackson, when they lost. Nobody did it. They held MJ accountable. Same thing with Kobe. They held Kobe accountable, and Bird and Magic and fucking A, man. This is garbage.
The niggas that were available to play, they played. I genuinely believe this to be the case. My nigga, if Cam Reddish was available to play down the stretch of this year, you still probably would have played him. I truly believe that the only reason why we stopped playing Cam because he was no longer available to play. Because you decided to put Cam Reddish into the starting lineup and gave us 6 different starting lineups when your 5 to 7 best players were all available. The team's consensus, third and fourth best players did not sit well with many in the organization and locker room. That makes sense. When I tell you guys, when I get really animated about certain things, when Darvin begged for Prince not to be traded, and I went to the whole spew about how the nigga was on his knees begging. I get depictive about it because I know. I went to these stretch of games before this article dropped because I knew already. I know what this nigga did. This nigga was fighting to keep giving this nigga Prince minutes. Fighting for his life. And he basically had an ultimatum. Either we trade this nigga or you bench this nigga. Because you were willing to bench both Reeves and D'Lo, who everyone in this organization believes is the 3rd and 4th best player on the team. And
by the way, his terminology of benching is not my terminology, what I've always known as a player and as a viewer. Benching means you're not playing. That means sit at the end of the bench and you're not going in. Not coming off the bench. You know, Manu Ginobili wasn't benched. Russell Westbrook isn't benched. They're 6 men, you know?
that's why, even in games where it actually made sense, he didn't have the wiggle room to start him anymore. He fought for that nigga to be on the team. So much so that he was willing to put Reeves and D'Angelo Russell on the bench. So when I tell you this nigga get off your knees, nigga, it's because...
Good Lord, man. I don't even know if I should be reacting to this channel. Fuck. This guy's got a mouth.
Because I know what you did. It's why I knew to go to this stretch of the year. It's why LeBron was alluding to that game, Kawhi Leonard switching and why are we attacking a great play. It's why niggas speak the way that they speak. Ham's decision was viewed as a panic move that backfired, to say the least. LeBron, age 39, was effectively the point guard at one point in this season.
Okay. Even with D'Lo in the starting lineup, LeBron chooses to play point guard. He's done this his whole career, so this is not a surprise, bud. This is not a surprise. This is what he's done his whole career. He's a small forward or a power forward, depending on what he feels like, who plays point guard. I've been asking the question this whole time. What's the point of having D'Lo on the team? If you're going to take a point guard and just turn him into a wing shooter, why not just focus on getting a good wing shooter and let LeBron actually take the role as point guard, a la Magic Johnson, who was how tall? 6'9", if I'm not mistaken. So what's the difference? The only difference is Magic actually embraced the role and he just went for it. But LeBron's like, no, small forward. And I think now he's power forward. Who knows?
We had 2 of them motherfuckers on the roster. Not 1, but 2 of those niggas on the roster. The buzzword for the Lakers offseason and training camp was continuity. The Lakers believe their supporting cast around James and Davis, specifically Reeves, Russell, Hachimura, and Vanderbilt, complemented the stars and one another well. All 4 players were in their mid to late 20s and under contracts for at least an additional season. The plan was for the Lakers core to be those 6 players plus Gabe Vincent. Has that not been what I've been saying? 4 of the 5 starting spots were cemented. Russell, Reeves, James, and Davis. The 5th spot was going to be decided in training camp with Vanderbilt, the incumbent starter entering the 2023 postseason, the front runner to retain his starting spot, but things went awry, obviously, when Vanderbilt suffered his heel injury, That led Ham and the coaching staff starting Prince, who had been signed to a 1-year, $4.5 million contract as a 3-and-D wing. Ooh boy, they throw around that phrase pretty loosely, and was viewed as the likely 8th or 9th man. Prince inadvertently became the avatar for the Lakers' issues, as his outsized role often came at the expense of the core players, led to smaller lineups, which performed worse statistically. The Lakers were just 24-25 when Prince as a starter, and 28-8 in the 36 games he played fewer than 25 minutes. There was a sense amongst players within the organization that Prince and Reddish, a 24-year-old minimum contract signing, were given opportunities to fail and play through their mistakes during the regular season, a luxury that Reeves, Russell, Hachimura, and others weren't afforded. The confusion towards Ham's rotation.
I mean, D'Lo was having games in the playoffs every other game where he was terrible, but he stayed in the starting lineup. So, I mean, what the fuck is this? This is from The Athletic? Is this what mainstream media is really doing? Like, they're going this far just to avoid putting any accountability on LeBron James? Is this really how far they're going? At this point, they're blaming, like, everything but the source, basically. And this guy, he's eating it up. He's taking the bait.
Even included his decision to split the minutes between Vincent and February's post-buyout Spencer Dinwiddie in the final weeks of the regular season and playoffs. This broke the rhythm of Dinwiddie as the primary backup guard, as he shot 39.7% from three-point range and was amongst the team's plus-minus leader after joining. The questions and concerns that we all had throughout the entire year is something that we've been talking about again for the entire year, and this is not something that any of us were concerned about, or we sat here and acted as if like he did or did not do. It's not anything questioning. This article backs up everything that we stated. Again, I get it. Many people want to act as if like we're shooting him bail and we're trying to make excuses for him. But the truth of the matter is we're just talking in actuality and what we know for a fact about this man. And it's been consistent from start to finish. And these have nothing to do with injuries. It has nothing to do with continuity. It has nothing to do with, a player was hot or cold and they were going through a stretch. This has everything to do with coaching. This is decisions from a coaching. Again, I'm gonna be clear. Hey, if you don't believe that I know enough about basketball because I don't know schemes and Darvin Ham is a better schemer than me, he watches more film than me, fine. But the concept of just rotations, the concept of lineups, the concepts of who you're giving more leeway to versus someone else is something that is so easy to identify. I don't need to.
Okay, but to be fair, we don't see what's going on in practice. So how do we know the guys that Coach Ham is picking for the starting lineup aren't outworking the guys who are coming off of the bench? I'm not saying that that's a fact because I don't know either, but we can't assume.
To be a 5-year veteran in the NBA or have a 10-year career in the NBA with another 7 years of coaching. I don't need that. Part of me wants to I don't want to shit on him too much because he was put in a position that he should not have been put in. Prince did not deserve a starting position where he's playing over 30 minutes a game. He didn't deserve that, and he never received that at any point in his career outside of times in which he was being coached by Darvin Ham in Atlanta. I think that probably management was like, all all right, we have like a spot or two. Who are you thinking? Because in their mind, they're like, oh, we just need like, 8 men. And then here comes oh yeah, we can get Prince. Okay, cool. When they signed Reddish and Prince, it was with the understanding of like, yo, he's coming off the bench. He's not starting. I do think the team it has enough talent to where some of these players on this team should be given a much longer leash and more responsibility, especially because some of these players are probably going to be better for what the Lakers need long term, such as, like Real Talk said, Max Christie. I've been saying over and over again, Jackson Hayes, he has glimpses of like really, really good play. A lot of it's just not stable from those two players because they don't get the reps and they make mistakes that you would expect from someone who doesn't have the reps and just young. They make those type of mistakes. And unlike Cam Reddish and Taurean Prince, who have the leeway to just be terrible and go out there the very next day and start confidently. Like, they didn't get that same luxury. And when they were thrown out there, it felt confusing. It was...
Okay. God, how do I wrap this up? Okay, the reason I've been quiet while listening to this is because I've been trying to pay attention very, very, like, I wanted to get the clear and distinct message of what this is, because there's a lot of words, there's a lot of talking, there's a lot in that article, and a lot of information. And without getting caught up in all the little details, there's a guy who watched a lot of basketball this year. I see the big picture. So I'm just going to call it for what it is. Big picture? This is just to blame the coach. So now no players. Now there's 0 players at all. Any of those LA Lakers. None of their fault. So the fact that they didn't win more games, they didn't get a higher seed in the playoffs. They went on a losing streak after they won the in-season tournament, and the fact that they lost to the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs. None of that is the player's fault. And I ain't buying that, man. Coach is coach. That's all. Coach is coach. But the players got to go out there and play and perform. Okay? Coach can't go out there and win the games. Coach can help you win the games, But at the end of the day, they are running the LeBron offense, the same offense we've seen from team to team. So that's not a Ham offense. That's a LeBron offense. So why didn't I hear LeBron James's name once in here as far as where the accountability should be placed? So yeah, I was so quiet because I was trying to get the actual hidden message here, And this is just to brainwash everybody to just say, oh, LeBron didn't win because Coach Ham sucks. Done. That's it. That was the whole point of this whole thing. And like I said, I'm not a huge Ham fan. Then again, I'm curious what he can do on another team, because just like Coach Malone said, he was hinting at it. Like, Ham had a hard job there with the Lakers. Like, that is not an easy job he had to do. And I know what he's saying. It's not easy to coach LeBron James, man, because LeBron James doesn't really let you coach. He tries to get all of his coaches fired. He blames them all. And the only time that didn't really work was with Coach Spo, because I saw it. I saw a little clip for my comments of basically Spo challenged him and said, all right, LeBron, you got a problem with me? There's the number. And he pointed to Pat Riley's number. He was like, you got a fucking problem with me? Go ahead and tell him. Go ahead, right now. Call him. So Spo wasn't afraid. Spo didn't give a damn. But every other coach has had to bend the knee to LeBron. And what's happened because of it? They all lose their job. It's really messed up. Anyways, I don't really know I don't really know what much else to say about this one. I guess this is what Laker fans are doing. I know it's not all Laker fans, because I've got a lot of you guys in my comments that are Laker fans, and you're pointing to LeBron saying we want him out. But I guess I guess this is what a lot of people are doing that are Laker fans. They're just gonna blame the coach again. Like, didn't they just do that with Vogel? Is all I have to say. You know, with that Westbrook team in the Lakers, like, didn't they just blame Vogel, get him out of there, and getting a new coach was supposed to be the solution? So they got Ham, and now it's, you know, Ham brought him to the. I mean, imagine this: Vogel comes in, wins a championship with the Lakers, then has one, a bad season. The team has a bad season. They fire his ass. Okay, so he was the problem, right? Okay, so you bring in Coach Ham. What's he do? Brings you to the conference finals, and then you have a bad season following that, and then you fire him. So it's Vogel's, or it's Ham's fault now, right? So what's about to happen next year? They're gonna bring in another coach. I mean, you can figure out the rest. I don't need to say this shit. It's so obvious. Yeah, I guess that's all I got to say. I don't even want to talk about this anymore. That was some. I feel like I got dumber from this entire thing. So I'm gonna step away, and I thank you all for watching. I'm like going back and forth in my head, like, should I even post this? But I think I should, because this will show you what the other side of the media is doing. So yeah, this is what the excuse makers are doing, the blame shifters. And you can tell he's a LeBron James fan, because he didn't put accountability on him whatsoever, and instead he's just searching for a scapegoat. I'll tell you guys one thing. None of us here in Phoenix are huge Frank Vogel fans as our coach. However, not a single one of us are blaming him for why we suck this year. Not a single one of us are blaming Vogel. We suck because, one, the lineup was not put together very properly because of Beal. Like, that was a mistake. We have too many guys who are doing the same thing. However, we still should have been a lot better than we were. We put the accountability on the players, because at the end of the day, they're the ones who had to go out there and ball. So the fact that they couldn't figure it out, they couldn't communicate and get it done, you know? But let's be fair. That one, I don't really blame Vogel at all. I blame our GM, James Jones, even though I like him a lot. I blame our owner, because he gets the final say, and then the players, because they're the ones who have to go out there and play the game at the end of it. And none of it lined up. No one seemed to do a good job. So, yeah, on a team like the Lakers, when you're led by LeBron James and AD, and you got a D'Lo and you got a Austin Reeves and all these guys, there's no excuse for you guys either. You can't just blame the coach. I don't know. Be better, everybody. Own up. Be accountable. People fail. People win. You know, win with honor and lose with respect and grace. All right, I'm out of here. Leave the video a like if you could, and leave me a comment down below. What do you think about all this? What's your take on this? Are you thinking you bring in another coach and all of a sudden everything's going to be fine for the Lakers? And secondary, do you think if the Suns fire Frank Vogel, we're going to be fine? Didn't work for the Lakers. Why would it work for us? Anyways, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. Peace out.